You have two movies coming out that star Bruce Willis. So how did that happen?
Yeah, sometimes when people kind of ask me like, oh, you just did, two movies with Bruce Willis, starring, they think it just happened overnight or is one of those things that that just kind of hit. But, as a filmmaker, I've been grinding and doing it for more than a decade, right? I mean, I went to film school a while ago and, I've been telling stories, writing scripts, making movies. So to some people, it feels almost like this overnight thing, but no, I've been at this for a while, and it's taken a while to get to that point where my work is established enough where people will come to me and be like, oh, we want you to direct this film, or, we've seen your work and we feel like your style, your vision would really fit into the content that we're creating. And that's how those films came about is, I did several independent films that got a lot of buzz, a lot of attention, and they attracted producers who were like, oh, hey, we're doing these other movies. Are you interested? We'd love to hear your take on them. And it's a process. It's like a job interview, right? Like you go in there and you read the script and you come up with your vision for how you think that film should be directed.
Can we hear more about this pitch?
Yeah, as a director, when you're going to direct a script from another writer or like a studio project or a production company has, you have a certain freedom to kind of read the script and come up with your vision for it. And that includes everything from a lookbook to cast to how you think the world is designed and looked and the visuals and everything. Just every little detail that you can go in there with describing how you think that film should be made. And it's everything from, we're going to use a lot of Steadicam, we're going to use handheld, we're going to use these kind of lenses. We're going to develop this sort of arc with the characters, and it's going in there with a confident vision of how you think that film should be translated from the script to the screen. And that's really what what you're doing as a director. When you read someone else's script, you're taking that and you're sort of deciphering how you think the best version of that film should be made.
How was it to have this production company that worked with Bruce, or there was another company that knew the company that worked with him, approach you, and did you feel like you were validated? Like, okay, now this is like a real filmmaking thing?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like it was being able to get approached to direct a script from another writer that has, A-list talent like Bruce Willis attached is definitely sort of whoa, this is finally, a little validation of my work as a filmmaker that people are trusting me with telling this story. So it was definitely, it elevated the level of, okay, the stakes are really high on this one. I really have to step it up and make sure that, I really kind of bring in 100% of my passion and all the knowledge and experience that I've learned as a filmmaker, an independent filmmaker for the last decade about, okay, how do you tell an interesting story? How do you, incorporate elements of indie filmmaking, which is kind of like that fast-paced, quick shooting style into a project where you have a little bit more money to play with, but knowing that, okay, that doesn't mean that, you can get wild with it, right? I mean, there's still those parameters of it's got to come in under schedule, under budget, and you want to be able to deliver the film so that people are always asking you for the next one.
And sorry, did they sign on for both movies, or was it one
No,
and the
you
other?
do one, and then and that's part of the experience, right? And that's one of the things that's one of the lessons that you learn as a filmmaker throughout your career is, and I've said it time and time again, is work leads to more work. So you do a project, you write a script for someone, and then they're like, oh, hey, we're looking for a director to direct this other project that we have. We really liked your script, Matt, and that other film that you did. Would you like to read this script and give us your take on the project? So that's one of those things that both as a filmmaker and everyone in the industry, you work with a DP, he'll make a film, he might meet with a producer who will hire him on a film that he ends up directing. Or, you work with an actor and the film might turn out to be really bad, but that actor was really incredible in the film, right? So you end up hiring him again on a different film, or, That's really that's so much of this industry, and so much of my career as a filmmaker has been just one project leading to the next, in terms of the relationships within that project and the people you meet and the friends you make and the collaborations that happen leading to the next thing.
What was the emotion like when you found out you got was it the first one?
Yeah, and it was definitely the emotion that I felt as soon as I realized I was going to be directing, this film with Bruce Willis, was a lot of excitement. I was just kind of like, whoa, I better step it up. You know what I mean? Like I can't screw this up. I got to do the best I can. So it was sort of like that nervousness mixed with, motivation, drive, more dedication. Like, okay, I got to step it up and do what I can to tell the best story possible and direct the best film possible within the constraints that I've been given. And I follow sort of like, for me, I've learned to have more of a stoic reaction in my career to things. And I think that is what enabled me to have a sustained sort of career. Is when bad things happen, you have to be able to kind of look at it from a stoic mentality of, okay, that sucks, but we're going to keep going. And then when something really amazing happens, like you're going to get to do, or you got this cool thing or whatever, great, I love that. That's good. Let's keep going. Let's keep moving. So it's having that balance where you can kind of not let it take you either one direction or another, is one of those things that I learned earlier on, just reading about like Stoic philosophy and how Stoicism helps people in their careers. And it's something that goes back, to ancient Rome. And it's just something that I've learned. And even on set as a director, I try to have that sort of stoic mentality on set. Because if you have that confidence and that sort of, don't let the little things that are going on set sort of drive you crazy, because they will, you know what I mean? If you let either the highs or the lows hit you, then you'll lose that sort of control, and you want to be able to just go into it confident, almost like a chess match. Just go in there with confidence, knowing that as things hit you, you can just keep going, take the hit, or then, something great happens and like, okay, this is great, enjoy that little second of it, and then just keep going. Don't let that thing don't ride that high to the point where it, you forget what's in the present, what's in the moment, what's happening now. So that's really been my best bit of advice, is to kind of like internalize that stoic philosophy in your career.